Over the next several decades, personal attacks against Negroes became more subtle and institutional in nature. As the black population doubled, their presence could no longer be ignored by the white community. In the 1920s, the practice of segregation intensified. Restrictive real estate covenants, ironically known as gentlemen's agreements, became a powerful tool used to keep blacks from moving out of Omaha's near North Side.
Race-restrictive covenants really started against the Asians in California in the 1890s, but were a method of not only keeping Asians, but also blacks in areas throughout the 1910s and especially in the 20s and 30s. A legal instrument that really kept basically the Jim Crow laws from the South enacted into the North, which in the real estate practice really said that blacks shall live in this area, because when houses were available for rent, they would be available and open only to blacks. And it says in the newspaper literature, whites only, coloreds only, or in some very definite degree. And that was then borne by the race-restrictive covenants in what was in effect law. It lasted for a very long time and really had a very pervasive impact to segregate the black population.
Between 1920 and the mid-1930s, almost all blacks were concentrated in this area by rental policies, bank loan policies, insurance policies, that is, refusal to insure blacks outside of an area and so forth. It's called redlining. And what happened then was the creation of a black ghetto. Now, it's not 100% black, it's just a walled area, and this is where blacks are forced to live.
This isolation was an important factor in developing a strong black presence along North 24th. Negroes increasingly established their own businesses. Beauty shops, barber shops, cafes, and other small businesses prospered. They created their own entertainment. Even a miniature golf course, the latest pastime, found its way onto North 24th. Blacks could relax and feel comfortable with their families. And black undertakers replaced white morticians who no longer offered their services to Negroes. There were several newspapers over the years. The Omaha Star, first published in the 30s, emerged as a lasting voice of the neighborhood. Many young boys got their first job there. A new class of doctors, lawyers, dentists, and other professionals emerged and located their offices along North 24th. They bought expensive furniture, fine china, sent their children away to college, and held conservative views. Rejected by the world outside North 24th, they created their own, often mimicking white society's customs and rituals. Clubs reached their zenith during this period. Most were linked to some kind of charitable activity. They raised money, held recitals and teas, and sponsored elaborate affairs like this one, fashioned after the pageantry of the Exarban coronation. In spite of this, blacks were unable to establish a viable economic power base. Other ethnic groups continued to dominate the major business activity along North 24th.